all know that Doctor Who has been a staple of British TV since its inception, but it really surged in popularity during the Christopher Eccleston-led revival. Though the sci-fi series had some certified spooks prior to Eccleston, NuWho arguably introduced the scariest monsters that rival even some modern horror films. Some are scary in concept, some are scary to look at, but regardless, they managed to give us nightmares and really make us quiver. Let's take a look at the lethal creatures that made us cower behind the couch. And spoiler warning, by the way. I'm Will for What Culture, and here are the 10 most terrifying NuWho monsters. 10. The Silence, the Impossible Astronaut. The creatures that plagued the 11th Doctor in multiple episodes of Series 6, the Silence had a truly disturbing presence. With someone instantly forgetting them the moment they look away, they created a consistent air of paranoia in every episode. We got to see their immense power as well, as they harness electricity to shatter and utterly destroy an innocent woman in the bathroom of the White House. It's also worth mentioning that they were introduced to the Whoniverse at the height of the Slender Man popularity, and their long limbs, suits, and creepy faces are reminiscent of the internet sensation. They established themselves as omnipresent villains, and were a fantastic addition to the rogues gallery of NuWho. 9. The Boneless, Flatline. Who'd have thought a 2D image could be scary? A fantastically unique monster appearing in the Peter Capaldi era, they were extremely bizarre in concept, but immensely terrifying in execution. Coming from a realm where everything is two-dimensional, they first show up as graffiti on a wall which appeared randomly overnight as individuals disappeared. We actually get to see how this happens, as a police officer investigating the apartment of a victim of the Boneless was sucked into the floor and splayed on the wall as a twisted mural showing the human nervous system, akin to something Leatherface would have on his bedroom wall. The fact that the TARDIS had shrunk, effectively trapping the Doctor inside, meant that Clara had to be the one to take the heroic role in this episode, albeit begrudgingly, until the very end, where the Doctor banishes the Boneless back to their dimensional plane. 8. CYBERMEN, Rise of the CYBERMEN. A true testament to the dangers of technological advancements. Though this may be considered cheating, as the Cybermen have appeared in the original series of Doctor Who, those Cybermen were from the planet Mondus, whereas this incarnation was from a parallel world and were entirely a human creation. Concocted by the brilliant mind of dying scientist John Lumick and Cybus Industries, it is understandable that he wished to prolong the life of everyone by encasing them in near indestructible armor that would not decay, and removing emotions which would eliminate conflict. The upgraded victims stormed a party, which results in a massacre of politicians, business people, and socialites. This also included the death of the parallel Jackie Tyler. In a later episode, they enter a huge-scale war against the Daleks and are utterly destrolished.
This is not war, this is pest control!
It's easily my favourite line in the entire of Doctor Who, but still, even with that pretty brutal loss, the NuWho Cybermen are terrifying. 7. The VALE, Heaven Sent. This creature rings of existential dread, more so than any other. A nightmare of a creature that actually manages to kill the Doctor multiple times. The VALE stalks the Doctor around a huge castle which he cannot escape without punching through a thick, crystalline wall. The slow speed really signifies creeping death, and how it follows everyone, including our favourite Time Lord. While other monsters are terrifying because of their abilities or their body count, the VALE's penchant for eternally following until it catches its prey is what earns it a spot here. The Doctor endures dying multiple times and resurrecting at the start of the maze again, in what would be an eternal cycle of pain, each time punching a tiny amount more through a solid object, all the while being murdered billions of times at the hands of the true entity of the Doctor's nightmares. 6. The Beast / the Possessed Ood, the Impossible Planet. In this episode, the Doctor faces one of the most classic baddies known to humanity, literal Satan. Dwelling on the planet Crop Tor, which sits practically adjacent to a black hole, the Beast uses its monstrous abilities to possess the innocent Toby Z, starting with echoing voices,
Toby, don't turn around.
progressing to covering him in markings of a language described as impossibly old by David Tennant's Doctor. Will Thorpe is the real standout star of this episode, with his facial expressions showing pure evil as he manages to mercilessly kill Scooty by destroying the glass of a ship's section, sending her plummeting into the black hole. The Beast also possesses the Ood, a willing, subservient alien race, which proceed to annihilate many crew members of Sanctuary Base 6. Toby makes the fear real, but the demonic possession he suffers at the claws of the beast is what transforms him into a person with a nervous disposition into a monster that deserves to be remembered. 5. The Flood, Waters of Mars. It only takes a single drop. Born from a mysterious life form that takes over the host body, the Flood transforms all biological life containing water into lethal zombies. Imbued with the ability to spray an endless supply of water, the danger comes from the fact that it only takes a single drop to change the individual into a walking ocean. The cracked, discolored mouths and the white eyes create visceral terror as they remain in human form. The Flood manages to erode its way through Base 1, the first base on the planet of Mars, and emerge through faulty water filters. As a matter of fact, now I think about it, the Flood is kind of similar to the creature of the same name from the Halo franchise. 4. The Empty Child. The Empty Child. This is the first Doctor Who episode that scared the crap out of people my age. The episode features the iconic gas mask zombie, who searched for his mummy until the end. It was also the first appearance of Captain Jack Harkness, played by John Barrowman, and it was the nanites on his ship that transformed the young Jamie into the Empty Child. Fusing the gas mask to the face, as the nanites assumed that this was the intended design of a human, they proceeded to infect everyone they came into contact with. Do you remember that scene where we see the transformation actually happening? Yeah, freaking terrifying. Though it did result in a happy ending, the mark that the Empty Child made will be permanently etched onto anyone who watched the episode. 3. The Midnight Entity. Midnight. Molto bene. The Midnight Entity is an unseen force that attacks a bus across the beautiful diamond planet Midnight while it's en route to see the famous Sapphire Waterfall. The planet in question cannot sustain life on its surface due to the intense sunlight, only amplified by the diamonds. The Midnight Entity possesses passenger Sky Silvestri, who somehow knew it was targeting her, a quandary that has puzzled Whovians since the episode aired. Leslie Sharp's performance as Sky was incredible and eerie to watch, as the entity quickly progresses from repeating after the Doctor to predicting what he's going to say.
What do you think? Do we have a deal?
It seemingly looks like he was under its control, almost resulting in the Doctor's death at the hands of the other passengers until the intervention of the hostess, who managed to save the day and kill Sky by sacrificing herself. 2. The Weeping Angels. Blink. Blink is definitely the strongest of the Dr. Light episodes and considered the magnum opus of Stephen Moffat. Yes, the Weeping Angels stayed in the nightmares of everyone. A race of quantum-locked creatures from the dawn of time, and supposedly known for being murderous psychopaths, they zap their victims back in time, permitting them to live out their lives in full. The scariest aspect of them is their incredible speed, able to travel great distances between blinks, which last approximately 300 to 400 milliseconds. Their first appearance in Blink was definitely them at their scariest, and in later episodes, it's revealed that the image of the angel itself is, in itself, an angel. They can also possess pre-existing statues, such as the Statue of Liberty, and it's this overexposure and the fact that they get less scary each time they show up, which just knocked them off the top spot on this list. And number 1, VASHTA NERADA, Silence in the Library. Who turned out the lights? The scariest monster that NuWho brought us was the VASHTA NERADA, a creature that appears all over the universe and devours meat much like piranhas. The Doctor demonstrates their carnivorous abilities by throwing a chicken leg into a shadow, and only watching the bone hit the floor. The Doctor also reveals that the creatures create a second shadow on their prey, resulting in their rapid death. He also highlights that they may be responsible for multiple disappearances of people on Earth. In great numbers, they are able to inhabit the suits of crew members in the library, who repeat the last phrase they said as they slowly march towards their next meal.
Hey, who turned out the lights?
What makes them so scary is that they don't dwell in every shadow, but can inhabit any shadow. This detail is what places them above the Weeping Angels, as it echoes one of mankind's greatest fears, the unknown. Yep, this is one episode that'll leave you gazing in suspicion at your own shadow forevermore after you've seen it. And there you have it, folks, the 10 most terrifying NuWho monsters. Now, this list was limited specifically to the mainline Doctor Who show, but if it wasn't, the Trickster would surely have also made the list. Anyhow, I've been Will for Who Culture. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and give me a follow on Twitter at YouSlyDogU. You can also swing by whatculture.com for daily news, lists, articles, and quizzes, and all that other funky internet stuff. For now, though, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.